अष्टतारेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki.
ISKCON founder, Acharya founder, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhansa Vraja Acharya Stoke Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki. Prem Singh Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopika Sham Kundi Radha Vraj Govardhan ki. Vraj Bhumi Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki. Navdeep Mayapur Dham ki. Purna Purusham Shetri Jagannathpuri Dham ki. Ganga Maiya Jamuna Maiya ki. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani ki. Golokera Premdana Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki. Srila Prabhupada Guru Puja ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Guru. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are very grateful to all of you today that you have come for this very special program today. Yesterday we did a very wonderful 68th anniversary program of ISKCON. Today we are getting the fruit of that wonderful program. We are getting prasad today. So today amongst us we have His Grace Vraj Bihari Prabhu. Vraj Bihari Prabhu has been brahmachari for more than 3 decades now, based in Radha Gopinath Temple in Chowpatty. And he has got many responsibilities, youth preaching and many other services in India. But he also travels around the world, US, UK and some other parts of the world. And he has so very kindly agreed to spare a few hours for us today and lead us into this series of classes that we've been hearing last 2 Sundays about Prabhupada's Katha, how he started the whole Hare Krishna movement. So, if you all remember, some days back we had a Shrutakirti Prabhu, who was Prabhupada's personal servant. So we thought of it as the past of Hare Krishna. Yesterday we had a Kirtan, so that is our present. And today we are seeing future in the form of His Grace Vraj Bihari Prabhu, because he is taking the preaching all over the world. So we are very grateful to him. Personally, I feel very, very honored that Prabhuji is here just the day after we celebrated, 60th anniversary. So I request now all of you to please, from the core of your heart, please welcome Prabhuji by 3 times loudly chanting, Haribo, 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 Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Namo Pankaja Nabhaya Namo Pankaja Maline Namo Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangre Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptan sanjivayata kila shakti dhara swadhamna anyam shahasta charana shravana tvagadim prananamo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam katanchana smrute yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet vismrute vipritam syat Sri Chaitanya namamitam. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for inviting me here to Stoke on Trent. That's the name of the place. Thank you, and I'm very happy today that tomorrow is the 60th anniversary of incorporation of ISKCON, and I've been asked to speak on Srila Prabhupada, which is my favorite topic. That's why I've not prepared anything. I want to share my heart. Generally, we give prepared classes. So I will share a few thoughts on Srila Prabhupada and what I understand or how I have grown in ISKCON. I will just share my heart. And if it benefits you, great. If it doesn't, please ignore today's class. Srila Prabhupada's unique contribution. See, why I find Srila Prabhupada as the most unique spiritual teacher, that he is a combination of two things, which is very rare to find. He blends these paradoxes very well. He is a spiritualist. He is absorbed in Krishna. Means he has nothing to do with the material world. And yet, he was so sensitive, so caring to the people he met. And generally there are spiritualists who are very caring and loving, but it's all pop psychology, fluffy stuff. No real substance is lacking. They will speak about how to love each other, and basically their idea is stay in this material world comfortably. Spirituality is all about feel good. It's all feel good feeling. I don't know if you come across such spiritual teachers. It's all about, I just feel good about life. I'm spiritual. It's so nice. But it lacks substance. So there are nice people out there, but they are too nice and they don't give the real thing. And there are people who try to give the real thing, but they become hard-hearted. Renunciation makes your heart hard. So Srila Prabhupada's message was, give up this world and go to Krishna. And yet he was so grounded, he was so real, that when he was leaving this world, few days before leaving this world, he called his secretary and servant. And in India, sannyasi means he has left the whole family, left society, everything, and only on Krishna. Yet, he ensured that his secretary and servants make a will. He made a will and ensured that his wife of the previous ashram, because before he was a sannyasi, he was a householder, he was a grahastha. He left family, he left wife and children to serve Krishna, but before leaving this world, he ensured that his wife and children get regular monthly pension. Sannyasis don't do this. He did that. He took care. And he was very sensitive. Like I'll tell you, one of my favorite pastimes of Srila Prabhupada is one girl, Urvashi. She's from Los Angeles. Her parents stay in Los Angeles. She was staying in Canada. And she hears that Srila Prabhupada is in Vrindavan, opening the Krishna Balram temple. This is 1975. It's the biggest festival ISKCON had ever seen till that point of time. Thousands and thousands of devotees flock from all over the world. And she comes from Canada to LA, and then she wants to go to Vrindavan. And in LA, her mom tells her, you're going to see a spiritual teacher in India? I should make something for him. What can I give him? And Urvashi is surprised. My mom wants to give something for Srila Prabhupada. And she says, Mom, whatever you like. She says, we have guava in our family garden. Can I make jam? guava jam? She says, yes, please. So she makes guava jam and gives it to her. And she gets it to Vrindavan. And there are Prabhupada is meeting so many devotees. She's one of them. And she gives it to Srila Prabhupada, saying that my mom made this for you. Now Srila Prabhupada recognizes that this lady, the mom of this girl, is not a devotee. She's not a Hare Krishna devotee. She's just a mother of a Hare Krishna devotee and who was kind enough, who had that love that she made something for Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada notices it. He keeps that jam with him. And now remember, try to understand the context. There are thousands and thousands of not only disciples, prominent leaders with Srila Prabhupada who are managing the worldwide society of ISKCON. And there is sannyas ceremony of Gaur Govinda Maharaj. And it's like all big things happening there. Some more initiation ceremony is happening and a lot of things happening. And Srila Prabhupada, if you see the video on YouTube, he's doing Aarti of Krishna Balram, he's beaming. He's so happy. But yet, he remembers this girl. And Srila Prabhupada's servant, he's searching for this girl, Urvashi, for 2 days. Because there are so many people and we didn't have smartphones then. And he's searching for her for 2 full days. And finally he finds her and he says, where are you? Srila Prabhupada is so grateful to you. He wants to talk to you. She said, really? Why? And you know what Srila Prabhupada tells her when he meets her? I've been looking for you. I want to know your mother's name. Okay. And then he says, give me your postal address of your mom. I want to write a letter to her. Letter to my mom? You don't need to, Prabhupada. There are so many devotees, there are so many important things to do. He says, no, your mother is important for me. And he takes the address from her, of her mother who's staying in Los Angeles. And you know what a beautiful letter he writes to her? Saying that, thank you for this amazing guava jam. My mom used to make exactly the same way. Thank you so much. He's acknowledging and expressing gratitude for guava jam. It's not a big deal for a world preacher who has got thousands of disciples. He notices a small act of love. And there are many pastimes of Srila Prabhupada like this. For this is one aspect of his personality which has captivated my heart. And which captivates anybody's heart when they see Srila Prabhupada like this. At the same time, Srila Prabhupada did not come to make our material life comfortable. He did not come to improve our social life. He did not come to make our sex lives better. Srila Prabhupada himself says in one lecture like that. He came to take us out of material consciousness, and that requires tough preaching. So he could speak. Sometimes you must have heard Srila Prabhupada read in his books, very strong. He comes out very strong. You rascal, have you heard him? Have you heard his lectures? He says, you rascal. I remember the first time I read that in Srila Prabhupada's book, Rascal. I was like, no, that's not the only aspect of his personality. There is a very beautiful conversation, Srila Prabhupada. If you get time, you should read it or hear it. June 23, 1976. It's a whole conversation where it's all about rascal, 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 and there's an amazing plot twist. There's an amazing plot twist. Devotees have gathered and they're having a debate. You know, the Srila Prabhupada would like to have debates. So devotees would act as scientists, atheistic scientists, not good scientists, the atheistic ones. And Srila Prabhupada, to train his devotees, would have a mock debate. For the disciples started saying, Swamiji, you say Krishna is God, but we don't agree. And Srila Prabhupada replies, you are a rascal. And they're having a debate. So every few seconds, Prabhupada says the word rascal. So then they say, Swamiji, life has come from chemicals. There is no soul. So Srila Prabhupada says, you rascal, what do you know? If life comes from chemicals, then I'll give you all the chemicals that are there in the body. You put them in a dead body and bring it back to life. Can you do that? You can't, you rascal. A chicken is a better scientist than you because it can produce life. A cow eats grass and creates milk. So you make a machine where you put grass and milk comes out. You rascal, you can't do that. So he keeps calling them rascals. So one disciple who's acting as a scientist, at the end of the conversation, he plays a master stroke. He says, Swamiji, it's not right. It's not appropriate. Why do you call us rascal? Now, these are challenging debates. You don't go there with notes. You don't go prepared. Your answers have to be instantaneous, spontaneous. And what's inside comes out. Isn't it? Do you agree? When you're confronted, see, your inside and outside, if it is not the same, if our inside and outside is not same, what will happen? What will happen? Hypocrisy. What will happen if your inside and outside is not same? Eventually, one day, what will happen? You get exposed. Basically, the inside will take revenge. Because your outside is different, but the inside is desperate. And so Srila Prabhupada is calling rascal, rascal, rascal. And there, in this debate, when he was confronted as, why are you calling us rascal? Srila Prabhupada spontaneously, you know what he says? Spontaneously, it comes out. Because I love you. That's what he says. I love you. And I can't see you take another birth and rot in this material world. I want you to get out of material world. Do you understand, you rascal? Again he calls him a rascal. And all devotees, first they laugh and then they are shaken. There are tears in the eyes of the devotees. And there's a long pause. So, you see these two things? There is kindness, affection, love. And there is bang. So sometimes, when I've seen devotees, sometimes we listen to the hard philosophy and we also become hard. And sometimes we hear about Prabhupada's kindness and love and we water down the philosophy. No, this is an amazing balancing act that Srila Prabhupada could do because he truly loved Krishna. When you love Krishna, you deal with people the way Krishna wants to deal with that person. Because you are one with Krishna. Your consciousness is one with Krishna. How would Krishna treat a soul, a wandering soul? How would Krishna connect with a lost soul? Krishna would love. But love doesn't mean flatter. Tough love also is needed. A parent will gently take the child back to home. Krishna wants us to go back home. That's what Srila Prabhupada came. And Srila Prabhupada also knew this is what two things. One is hard philosophy, uncompromising on philosophy, and very sensitive in dealings. And also, he had the presence of mind. He was not cut off from the world. He knew what's trending on social media. He knew what's famous. And he knew how to bring that into his talks, in his lectures. See, that's a genius presenter of Krishna. See, right now, some of the words may not make so much sense to you. Consciousness. When Srila Prabhupada came to New York in 1965, August. What happened, bro? Okay. When Srila Prabhupada came to New York in 1965, the word that was very popular was consciousness. So, a lot of so-called spiritualists would talk about consciousness expansion. Some people would say divine consciousness. Some people would say altering the state of consciousness. These were very popular terms. Srila Prabhupada enters the scene, the hippie scene, and he gives a concept, dovetailing our consciousness, individual consciousness with the supreme consciousness. And immediately the hippies, they, wow, this is cool. He is our man. He knows our language. And through that, he presents Krishna. In America, the Superman character was very popular. Now, Srila Prabhupada, before Srila Prabhupada, the Paramatma, the Lord in the heart, was known as overseer or Lord in the heart. Soul and Lord in the heart. These were the two terms. Srila Prabhupada says, okay, soul, and there is Superman, so we'll have a super soul. He knew how to present Krishna consciousness that was perfect according to the time, place, and circumstances. It's a genius. Another classic example is, Srila Prabhupada, in 1970s and 80s, those who were growing up in the Western world as well as in India, one whiskey was very popular. I'm forgetting its name. Johnny Walker. Have you heard the name? Johnny Walker. The whiskey brand was very popular. And they had a slogan, born in 1820, still going strong. You know, whiskey, I think liquor as it gets older, it's supposed to have more taste or whatever. And that was their catch line, in that tagline. Born in 1820 means that whiskey was started in 1820 and it's still going strong. So I remember as a young boy in 1970s hearing this phrase. Johnny Walker was a well-known whiskey brand. So anyway, one day Srila Prabhupada is giving a class. David is a little low and sad because some challenges have come. And Srila Prabhupada speaks about pure bhakti, Vrindavan. See, you have to understand the context again. Srila Prabhupada is speaking about how we just want to love Krishna. And he builds it up. And then he says, we have nothing but only Krishna. In fact, we love Krishna so much that we don't even want Krishna. When I heard it first time, I was like, what? And then he says, no, we don't want Krishna. Let gopis have Krishna. Let other devotees have Krishna. We simply want to serve those devotees and we want to serve Krishna. Why should Krishna waste his time with me? I don't want Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. I don't want this time. I don't want to trouble him. Let him give his love to everyone. Let me simply serve. So it's a very deep point. If you understand, it's like he's getting into the mood and all that. And then he knows that the devotees are struggling because they're not able to preach, they are facing obstacles. And you know, the devotees were harassed in Mayapur, they were put in jail. India, that time, American devotees in India were called as CIA agents. And people were persecuting them because Russia, KGB was controlling Indian government at that time. It's a long story for some other day. So India was backed by Russia, and Russia was propagating how Americans are coming to India as CIA agents. It's all documented. There's one big file which was declassified, and everybody knows about it. So Indians are suspecting Americans and they were persecuting them and troubling them. And Srila Prabhupada is speaking about how we want to take troubles for Krishna, we just love Krishna. All that, and then seeing the devotee's mood, he says, and sometimes, this is the last line of the lecture, this is the ending of the class. He says, and devotees are persecuted and we are troubled, but we don't care. Johnny Walker still going strong. He says, we are still going strong. And devotees, they're so happy because it was a stressful atmosphere and they were in anxiety. Srila Prabhupada knew how to charm them. See, why it is very unique, why I find it very fascinating is here is a lover of Krishna, pure lover of Krishna, Vrindavan, who could give any example for saying you should go strong, but he chooses to give an extremely incongruent example. In one sense, it's out of place. Whiskey, a pure devotee of Krishna won't talk about liquor. In fact, one of the regulative principles is we don't take intoxication. But Srila Prabhupada knew the pulse of the audience. He knew how to relate everything that's happening in the world. So he was strong in his preaching, very sensitive in his dealings, very relevant in his preaching. But what I personally, one of my all-time favorite pastimes of Srila Prabhupada is in New York, 1966, all young boys are coming to him. They are like, they don't know anything about Indian culture. They're very new. They don't know anything about Vaishnava, devotee, bhakti. There's one boy, Steve Guarino. He's a 26-year-old young man working in the welfare department. And he feels, this Swami is old, I want to serve him, I want to please him. And Srila Prabhupada, he's very candid in his talks. He's very candid. And he says, this New York is a horrible place. It smells like dog stool. And there's nothing good here. And you don't get any mangoes in New York. This time, this is May, June 1966. He says, in India, at this time, there are so many mangoes. So Steve thinks, Swamiji likes mangoes. And I always anyway want to serve him. Maybe I can get some mangoes for him. And as Srila Prabhupada rightly said, there are no mangoes in New York. So Steve goes around searching for 3 to 4 hours. He goes to every store, every shop, and finally gets a few mangoes in some Indian store somewhere. and he's excited, he gets it to the class. The next day after class, Srila Prabhupada says, after the class, everybody gets up. As they're leaving, Steve comes forward and he says, Swamiji, mangoes. And Srila Prabhupada's eyes lit up because he had just spoken about it the previous day, and here is Steve has brought him mangoes. He says, Acha, mangoes. He smiles and then he takes his right hand. Now understand the context again. Steve is 26-year-old. All the other young boys were like 18, 19. So they already looked up to Steve as the big brother. He was like seen as a man, and we are like kids. And then Srila Prabhupada puts his hand on Steve's head and rubs it and says, very good boy. So everybody starts laughing because they find it very funny, because he's not a boy, he's a man. And Prabhupada calls him a very good boy. And when everybody laughs, Srila Prabhupada gets confused. He wonders why they are laughing. He looks at them surprised. He says, oh, was it funny? No, but he looks at Steve and then looks at the boys and says, this is love. What is brought for me is love. Now, Steve writes this in his diary. Not now, not in 1966 May. Time passes. Months pass. Steve goes on to become Satswarup Das. He gets married. He becomes a Grihastha. Then he becomes a sannyasi. He becomes Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj. He has a big danda. He's a sannyasi. And then ISKCON spreads like wildfire. There are hundreds of centers, so many zones. There are governing body commissioners. And all these leaders are only surrounding Srila Prabhupada. And time passes, and soon we arrive at 1966 to 1976. July 13th. The 10th anniversary of ISKCON. Devotees make a long cake with hundreds of candles, and all the big leaders are standing, and there are thousands of devotees. Srila Prabhupada would meet all the world leaders, and there is this cake, and Prabhupada is blowing the candle, and he's happy. ISKCON has spread wildfire, ISKCON has spread far and wide, and he says, today we are 10th anniversary. And then he looks at Satswarup Maharaj, who was earlier Steve. And he says, our Satswarup Maharaj used to get me mangoes. Everybody is stunned. He didn't talk about all the big temples that they built and all the risks that they took. So again, this is like amazing. So Satswarup Maharaj writes in his diary that he could have spoken about so many things. And I was an insignificant, unknown young man coming to that storefront to hear his classes, and I just gave him a mango once. He not only recognized that as love then, but 10 years later is able to recall it. So this is the love. And at the same time, while preaching, uncompromising. And not only uncompromising, but also very relevant. And nothing could shock him. Nothing could surprise him. Srila Prabhupada would walk in New York to the storefront, and there were snipers around. And one devotee told him, Srila Prabhupada, there are snipers here, your life is at risk. Prabhupada said, I am a Kolkata man. I have grown up in Kolkata. Nothing can scare me. Srila Prabhupada would say, Mare Krishna Rakhe Khe, Rakhe Krishna Mare Khe. One is protected by Krishna, nobody can kill you. And if Krishna wants to kill you, nobody can protect you. Srila Prabhupada was fearless. And that's why he was not scared of anything. So once he was writing his translations in his room. And there was a knock on the door. Guess what is the time? Anybody can guess? 1:30 a.m. When the whole world of California was sleeping. This is San Francisco. Haight-Ashbury, all drug addicts nearby. In fact, there were so many drug addicts that they thought these drug addicts and hippies would take over the city. There was a big anxiety there with the municipal corporation. There's a knock on the door at 1:30. And what is Srila Prabhupada doing in his house, in his room? Any guesses? He's translating his books. This requires a lot of intense work. He's doing intense work early morning hours, 1:30 in the morning. And there's a knock. Srila Prabhupada is wondering, who's coming at 1:30? I'm doing my most important work of translation. He opens the door, and what does he see? Shocking. He sees a young girl, maybe 19, 20-year-old, not dressed properly. I mean, I don't know what it's a subjective thing, not dressed properly. But by the standard that Srila Prabhupada was coming from, she was basically semi-naked. And she has these eyes. She was high on drugs. And she stares at Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada opens the door and says, "What? Who are you? What are you doing at this unearthly hour here? What do you want? Come on, speak up," Srila Prabhupada says. And you know what she does? She raises her arms. And she says, "Hoo la la la." Srila Prabhupada realizes she's a crazy girl who's high on drugs. And this is not an uncommon sight for Srila Prabhupada. So he closes the door. But when he closes the door, this girl walks in. So when she enters in, now those of you know the renounced order, culture, sannyas, Vedic system. A sannyasi, a renounced order person, is never supposed to be alone with a woman in any room or a house. That's a etiquette. That's a rule we follow. So default setting of Srila Prabhupada was, because this lady has come inside and this is house and the house is getting closed, so Srila Prabhupada comes out of the house. He doesn't want to be with her in the room alone. So when he comes out, she also comes out. But what she does, she pulls the door. And that's a self-locking door. And this is 1:30 in the night, January, San Francisco. It's a little cold. And she closes the door. And now both this young girl and Srila Prabhupada are locked outside his own house. And he says, "What have you done, you stupid girl? Hoo la 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 la." That's the only thing she was saying. And then Srila Prabhupada walks straight. And then she follows him. And then he turns left. Wherever he's going, she is there with him. So he says, "I have to do something. What do I do? What do I do?" "Oh, Mukunda." That time he was Mike Grant. He stays somewhere close by. I should go and visit him. But where does he stay? He's not sure where he's staying. Because you can't go at somebody's house and knock at 1:30 in the night and say, "Is this Mukunda's house?" You can't say that. So he starts calculating, imagining, and everywhere he goes, this girl is following him. Finally, he figures out that, on this lane, Mukunda, Janki, they are staying. She was Jane. He was Mike. And he knocks, and Mike opens the door, and what does he see? He's shocked. He sees his Swamiji with a young girl right behind him. And then Prabhupada explains to him what has happened. And then he looks at the girl and he says, "You stupid girl, don't you understand our Guru? This is the only time he has to write his books. And he's an elderly Swami. Why don't you respect him? Why are you harassing him?" And you know what she says? No. She says, "You're a kid. You won't understand." He says, "What? What did you say?" And then she says, "Hoo la la la." So he understands. She's crazy. So like this, a few times he gets upset, he looks at her, and the only thing she says is, "Hoo la la la." So finally, fortunately, Mike had a spare key. Srila Prabhupada knew that Mike had a spare key, so that's why he was looking for his house. So then he comes home, he opens the door, Prabhupada enters, he closes the door, and he drives the girl away. And then Srila Prabhupada guessed, "See, if this incident happened with you, what would you do?" Because this whole thing took 1.5 hours. So by the time Prabhupada comes back inside his house, it's 3 a.m. The incident started at 1:30. Now it's 3 a.m. What would you do if 1.5 hours of such traumatic experience, in one sense? It's an adventure, but it's also crazy adventure. What do you think would happen to us? We would just sulk or watch reels or lie down or take some drink. You know what Srila Prabhupada did? He quietly, nonchalantly goes back to his writing desk and continues the translations as if nothing has happened. And the story doesn't end here. Morning, Srila Prabhupada has to give his class at 8 a.m. as usual. So he comes down to give his class and he takes his kartals and he sings Radha Madhav. He opens his eyes after the prayers and he starts to give the class. And there are men sitting here and the ladies sitting here. And he opens his eyes and guess what? He sees that girl in the audience. She's come for the class, little better dressed and sober The hangover is gone and she's just sitting in the class. And Srila Prabhupada looks at her and his eyes lit up. And Srila Prabhupada, looks at that girl and he shouts, "Hoo la la la." Srila Prabhupada's sense of humor, he was not intimidated by her. This is nothing but compassion and love. Somebody could have made a big issue out of it, right? He genuinely loved. That's why you could give examples of Johnny Walker, you could treat her with kindness. So this is 3 aspects of Srila Prabhupada which has really fascinated me. One is his sensitivity and kindness in his dealings, his strong preaching, and his being socially relevant and not being intimidated or surprised by anyone. Because he was not of this world. Now talking about his strong preaching, this is very important because, sometimes, Prabhupada gave this, he took this mango, he gave this love, he made chutneys for these devotees, he fed them. All these love things, sometimes makes us understand that we don't have a strong philosophy. We need to understand what Srila Prabhupada actually came to give us. He came to give us a relationship with Krishna and he came to break our illusions. And Srila Prabhupada learnt it himself in 1922 when his friend insisted that Srila Prabhupada's that time name was Abhay Charan and his friend was Narendranath Malik. So Naren told Abhay, there is a very nice saintly person here. Please come with me. Let us go and meet him. Abhay said, no, I know all these saintly people, they are all frauds. See, Abhay at that time, Srila Prabhupada, he was studying in Scottish Church College, one of the top colleges in Kolkata. He was British educated, his English was rich, and at the same time, he was supporter of Indian national movement, which was fighting for independence. And also he had a very poor opinion about sadhus and saints in India because he had seen many of them take drugs secretly, and he saw his father serve and respect the saints who would put on saffron, but they would also go and smoke and they would beg money and they would do all kind of bad things. So Srila Prabhupada had very poor opinion about saintly people. But Naren said, no, Abhay, he is different. The one I am going to take you to meet, he is very special. Abhay said, I know all of them. Naren said, no, come with me. And they had a tussle. So people could see that there is a friendly altercation happening. And finally Naren won. Because Srila Prabhupada says later on, many years later in one of his lectures, that all my friends wanted me to give a thumbs up to this man, this saintly personality. Because I was a leader amongst my friends. And he quotes this famous phrase, Hukum chalega. He says, whatever I said would happen amongst my friends. So they wanted me to give a green signal that he is a great personality. So Naren was insisting. So then Abhay finally went, he relented, and then they went. So now they meet this personality. Who is this personality? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You can see next to Srila Prabhupada's photo here, that is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. From your left side, the second photograph, the one with the bead bag, that is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the guru of Srila Prabhupada. For this is their first meeting. Abhay comes up and looks at Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he has been taught the Indian tradition of offering respects to saintly people. So he offers his pranam. And he had not even risen, he had not even looked at the saintly person properly. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur from his seat, he declares, you are an educated young man, you should spread the message of Lord Chaitanya all over the English-speaking world. He's shocked. I have not even gathered a favorable first impression about you, and you're ordering me to go and preach. This is what he thought. But he didn't say anything, but he said, you know what Srila Prabhupada, Abhay, tells his guru? He says, who will listen to your message of love of God when India is still a dependent country? We need independence first. So this was definitely a challenge. Srila Prabhupada, Abhay was respectful, but he was challenging. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a no-nonsense guru. He said, Krishna consciousness is an emergency, it can't wait for independence. And then they had a debate for almost 2 hours. And in the end, Abhay was defeated. And he was happy that he was defeated. And when he came down, Naren looked at him and said, "What is your opinion?" And Abhay said, "He's such a nice, saintly person. And I regret that I'm married. I wish I was not married. I had no family. I could have joined him and served him full time." So, in that meeting, what happened in that terrace, rooftop of Ulta Danga Road, where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur smashed him in the debate, the whole debate was, Srila Prabhupada was saying, we need independence first. We need to take care of the present moment. We need to be present. We need to live in the present. Mindfulness. This is all very popular nowadays. We ISKCON devotees also strongly believe in live in the moment. Be in the present. But there is an addition there. We say be in the moment, live in the moment, but we don't live for the moment. We live for a higher reality, for a better future. We live for that future, but we live in the moment. But that vision, that for future, that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur gave Srila Prabhupada. And he told him that today one government is there, tomorrow another government. Things will change. Every time there is a change, but eternal relationship with God doesn't change. So pursue this, make this your life's mission, and spread the message of God. This is 1922. 20 years later, when Srila Prabhupada started his Back to Godhead magazine, he preached the same message. They were celebrating Mahatma Gandhi's 75th birthday, and everybody was glorifying him, including George Bernard Shaw in England. He said, "I wish it was Gandhi's 35th birthday." And Srila Prabhupada writes an article saying that we could wish, but time doesn't care. Death will come, life will change, circumstances will change, but we need to take to spiritual life as an emergency. Are you noticing here? He's not compromising on the philosophy, although he's very kind, helpful, loving. And then he goes to New York, 1966. All these young boys and girls are sitting in the class. And Srila Prabhupada inadvertently gives an analogy, an example that shakes up the audience. He says, so Krishna tells Arjuna to fight. Arjuna doesn't want to fight. But Krishna says, this is an important war. This is a religious war. Do your duty. You are a warrior. Fight. Srila Prabhupada had... Now, do you know the context? What's happening there in New York in 1966 at this time? Anybody knows what was happening at that time? There was Vietnam War. And young men were being drafted into the army against their will. So all these boys who had come for the class, they were against war. Please understand the context. So this example was uncomfortable for many, in fact for everyone. And Srila Prabhupada had chosen a volatile analogy about war. Arjuna doesn't want to fight, but Krishna is ordering him to fight. So the young boys were seeing it as, American government is telling us to fight, we don't want to fight. So they were connecting themselves with Arjuna, and they were connecting American government with Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said, when Krishna says you should fight, you should fight. But the boys didn't hear it like that. They heard, we have to go for war. Swamiji is saying we should fight the Vietnam War. Was that Srila Prabhupada's message? What was Srila Prabhupada talking about? He was talking about another reality. He was talking about surrendering to Krishna. So one young man says, Swamiji, are you saying we should fight the Vietnam War? Srila Prabhupada says, Vietnam War is irrelevant. Because this war will be over after some time. There will be another urgent emergency issue that you will grapple with. I am talking about our eternal relationship with Krishna. Another boy says, if Vietnam War is not relevant, then what's your relevancy? Srila Prabhupada says, I am talking about our relationship with God. The debate goes on. But are you seeing where this is coming from? Srila Prabhupada learnt it in 1922. And in 44, now you're in 1966, he's pushing, he's shaking, he's challenging these young boys and girls to understand that things, circumstances will change, but something doesn't change. That's our relationship with God. And we need to revive that. The 1971, that is India-Pakistan war, in Delhi, the reporter is interviewing Srila Prabhupada, and suddenly there is a blackout. Blackout. Thank you. So there's a blackout and everybody's scared because the Pakistanis, they may be bombing Delhi. So the reporter is saying, oh, there's war, there is war. She panics because suddenly the blackout means there's something serious going to happen. It's a war, wartime. Srila Prabhupada is completely equipoised. And she says, Swamiji, there's a war. Srila Prabhupada says, so? No, we'll all die. Won't you die if there is no war? No, but Ayub Khan, he was the chief of Pakistan army or something. Somebody should go and tell him, somebody should go and tell Ayub Khan to stop the war. So Prabhupada says, why do you want to flatter Ayub Khan? Why don't you remember Krishna? She just couldn't get it. But I'm giving you all these examples to tell you that this aspect of Srila Prabhupada also we need to remember. So we are discussing three aspects. One is his kindness, love and sensitivity, which we spoke in the beginning. For those of you who came late, you missed it. But that's not the only Srila Prabhupada. He did not come to make our material life better. He also wanted to give us hardcore, uncompromising philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And to present that, he also was relevant, non-judgmental, accepting. Even the drug-induced hippie girl, he was kind to her. So he was relevant, kind, compassionate and also strong in his preaching. And because he always was with Krishna, nothing affected him. I would like to end with one pastime, which is again one of my favorites. Srila Prabhupada is flying from Dallas to New Orleans. This is 1975 July. And he has a servant next to him. And as the plane is flying, suddenly there's turbulent weather and it is so bad that the plane starts swirling in the air and the overhead bins, they snap open. Terrible. Things start falling down and all the passengers are screaming. And Prabhupada's servant grabs Prabhupada because he feels something will happen to Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada is, you know what he is doing? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He is mildly irritated as if something, he's not worried about death. I mean, death is staring at everybody's face at that moment. Srila Prabhupada is like, Hare Krishna. So then everybody is screaming, it's crazy. And finally, after I think 7 or 8 minutes of the pilot trying to negotiate the weather and all of that, finally things cool down and then, it's still not actually proper and the plane lands. Till then there is anxiety. And when they land and everything is safe, the pilot announces we are safe and now we can disembark the plane, we can get off the plane. And then everybody starts cheering. So Srila Prabhupada was witnessing both. He saw both. What was that? Extreme despair and extreme celebration. And during both times, Srila Prabhupada was like this. Hare Krishna. When the plane is rolling, he's like this, and now when the plane is smooth, he's like Hare Krishna. And the servant is amazed. There was the sword of death hanging above our heads. And Srila Prabhupada is not affected. Now everybody is celebrating, and Srila Prabhupada is not affected. This is what he mentions in 2nd chapter purport. You know, Krishna tells Arjuna in the Gita, tolerate what? What does Krishna ask us to tolerate? The 2nd chapter, Krishna says we should tolerate both happiness and distress. Only after coming to ISKCON, I learned that we should also tolerate happiness. I had heard before that we should tolerate our distress, but I had never heard something like tolerate happiness. I thought, why should we tolerate happiness? But when I saw this example of Srila Prabhupada, I could see he was equipoised in both situations. But the servant wanted Srila Prabhupada's divine, deep, profound wisdom on this incident. He thought Srila Prabhupada was going to say something about death, something about, wow, something happened just now, right? They all just came out of the claws of death. So he's looking at Prabhupada, if he'll say something. And finally Prabhupada spoke. And he was like, wow, this is going to be there for eternity. You know what Srila Prabhupada said? How far is the temple? From the airport. That's all. He had nothing more to say. So he was not on this plane. He was with Krishna. This world could not affect him. But when he was living in this world, he was kind. He was compassionate to his wife of the former ashram, to children, to young hippies, to a girl who brought him guava jam, to her mother, to somebody who got him an apple, a mango. And he was also very relevant. He knew what is the latest trending advertisement, Johnny Walker. He knew consciousness, he knew Superman. So the point I'm saying is Srila Prabhupada is the perfect spiritual teacher, because with due respect to everyone, all spiritual teachers, Srila Prabhupada is very special because he gave the uncompromised, pure, unadulterated Krishna consciousness with sensitivity, with kindness. So I would like to end with one verse. You can please repeat after me, and then the class is over. Prasangam ajaram pasham kavayo atmano vidu saeva sadhusho kruto mokshadvaram apavritam. Material attachment is binding, and it's like the mouth of a python. It will devour us. Prasanga majaram pasham. But that same attachment, if it is transferred to a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, Saeva sadhusho krito mokshadvaram apavritam. It opens the doors of liberation and freedom. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Vraj Bihari Prabhu. That was a wonderful, taking us journey to Prabhupada. Do you all like the class? I think rather than class, it was like a journey in history. Prabhuji took us to Prabhupada, and to his character of compassion and so strong in spiritual life. So Prabhuji has to go to another program in a few minutes' time, so he won't be staying us for too long. But I request Prabhuji that Prabhuji next time, please give us more time.
I'll stay here and then go to other places.
Haribol! So, because Prabhuji has a short time, so he had to leave. So we'll have a kirtan now. But before Prabhuji leaves, let's thank Prabhuji for taking us, giving us this nice finale of our last series of classes that we had last 2 weeks. We are celebrating 60th anniversary of ISKCON. And what could be a wonderful finale like Prabhuji, took us to the history of ISKCON. So we'll be very, anxiously waiting for Prabhuji's next visit. And, you can take us more into this pastimes of Prabhupada and Krishna, and collectively how we can all, stay together and help each other in progressing in Krishna consciousness. Prabhuji is author of many wonderful books. Some of the books are available in our shops, so if you want to take some books today, please do take. But before Prabhuji leaves, let's give a big round of applause by 3 times loudly chanting, Haribo! 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 So thank you so much, Prabhuji. That's very kind of you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I'm very touched by your enthusiasm. Thank you.
So we'll stand up now, we'll have a kirtan, and after kirtan will be prashad.
नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमः। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Everyone loudly please. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Loudly please. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Radha Gokulanand Radhe. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jai Radha Sham Sundar Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Bolo bolo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Priya Vrajacharya Ashtotar Sat Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Priya Vrajacharya Ashtotar Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki Jai. Nam Acharya श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रज भूमि श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की नवदीप मायापुर धाम की पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा मैया की जमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की गोलोकेर प्रेमधन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्री ISKCON Hare Krishna Center 60th anniversary की all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Gaurav and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada.
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadayine Praladadayine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Shilatankanakalaye Ito nrsimha parato nrsimha Yato yato yamitato nrsimha Bahe nrsimha hridaye nrsimha Narasimhamadim sharanam prabhatye Tavakara kamalavare naka Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Navagara Kamalavare Naka वृषभधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नृसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव की
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. We have a couple of announcements and then we'll do our prasadam prayers. In a couple of weeks' time, it's going to be the 26th of July. I don't know where time's going, but 26th of July is in a couple of weeks. We are having a really special Sunday love feast on that day. So, as usual, we'll start at 12. We'll have Guru Puja for Srila Prabhupada. We will have class. And then we are having a very special children's Ratha Yatra in the temple. Haribol! Anyone who attends, or if they don't attend regularly, please do encourage all children to come on that day. We are requesting that children choose a flower for Jagannath and also a fruit of their choice. So they can bring along a fresh flower and a fruit, and then they can offer it to Jagannath on the day. So those who don't know, Jagannath is is Krishna himself. In a very beautiful, big-eyed form, and Ratha Yatra is a festival of chariots. It's one of the biggest chariot festivals in the whole world, usually biggest in India, Jagannath Puri. Outside of India, it's celebrated all over the world, especially in ISKCON traditions. So we'll be celebrating that on Sunday, the 26th of July. We do need some people to volunteer for that, to help guide the children, to help prepare the cart. His Grace Drubangananda Prabhu will also be coming on that day. He's a Srila Prabhupada disciple. So if you're available, you want to help, please do come and speak to Sneha Mataji at the end. Sneha Mataji, give us a wave. Wonderful. Okay, so that's Sunday 26th, Children's Ratha Yatra. Liverpool Ratha Yatra happened last weekend, and some of our devotees went down and helped cook some of the feast. So thank you so much for everybody who went. Liverpool, the congregation is really starting to grow there, and they have been given a building, quite a large building, to continue with their preaching program, so kirtan, classes, whatnot. They are having a special kirtan concert on 25th of July. So if you're interested in going along, some of us will be going. Please come and speak to Balaram Prabhu about that, and we can go there together. So that's Ratha Yatra. Okay. Are there any guests here today? Like anybody that's new? Wonderful. Karen. Is anyone else here that's new, that's never been to temple before? Wonderful. I can see some new faces. Thank you so much. There's no pressure, but would any of you like to introduce yourself? You don't have to. Yeah? Please do. Just tell us your name, where you're from, and how did you hear about today? Wonderful. And what's your name? Lakshmi Mataji. Beautiful. So nice to have you here, and a huge welcome to our Sunday Love Feast program and family of ISKCON Stoke. Karen, would you like to say a couple of words?
Karen, I'm from Perth, in Australia. I'm visiting my father who was in Spain. He's 95.
Wow.
And yes, so just visiting, look for people in the area, and really grateful to be here.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Isn't it just wonderful? Srila Prabhupada has built a home that the whole world can live in. So Karen's all the way from Australia and is able to go to temple there because of our dear Srila Prabhupada. Okay, thank you so much, whoever's new today. We have a little gift for you in the shop. So do go and see Marina if you want to give us a wave. Marina Mataji, she'll give you a little gift for attending today for your first time. Thank you so much. I just have one little announcement to make also. So this dancing that you saw us doing, this is dancing for Harinam. We call this Harinam dance. And I used to lead classes for ISKCON London. I've been a professional dancer for many years, and I've taught dance for many years too. So I wanted to give back my skills to Srila Prabhupada. So I will be starting, as part of the temple, a special Harinam dance class. And the whole point of the class is, especially the ladies, the Matajis, we can come together, really just, move the body, be together, make good friendships with each other. And then when we do go on Harinam and we go on Rath Yatra throughout the country, we can present the dancing very nicely, yes, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Jagannath. It's also great to just move the body and, be healthy. So we're doing lots of stuff like that in the actual class. I'll be sending a poll via the WhatsApp group to see which dates everybody can do. So please look out for that post. And we can then get our costumes together, we can wear matching saris and all that, and dress up together. It'll be really nice. Okay. Yeah. I think there's a car blocking.
This is not a fun announcement, but there's a car blocking Prabhuji's car that is supposed to go. X11 XMG. Okay, sorted. Hare Krishna.
महाप्रसादे गोविंदे नाम ब्रह्मणि वैष्णवे सर्व पुण्यवतां राजन् विश्वासो निविचायते शरीराल विद्याजाल जरिंदिये ताहे का जीवे फेरे विशेषा करे तारम अज्जीवायति लोभो माय सुदुर्मति ताके चेता कथन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ो दयामय कोर बाय जीव जाय स्वाप्रसादम अधिलो बाय से नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेम ढाको श्री चैतन्यता जैनी माँ जैनिताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे महाप्रसादम की